200 G's. So yes, they'll give you the $10,000, but
you can see this window above. It's got that piece of steel, and that's what we're missing here.
Okay, I just watched something that made my blood boil. We're talking $300,000, $400,000 homes being thrown up in 4 days with materials you wouldn't use to build a doghouse. Builders cutting corners, lenders hiding fees, and regular people signing 30-year mortgages for it. If you're thinking about buying a new build right now, watch this first.
Do not buy a house after 2020. You wanna know why? Okay, I'll show you why. Hold on. Most of these houses go up in 4 days. No joke. I want you to see something real quick. Look at that. Oh, look at how even that is. Yep. Wait a second. No, that's not even the start of it. I mean, I'm going all over this place and see how far off they are. Look at that.
you'll see all these $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 houses. Hell, here's one. There's one. All right. I want to show you what these son of bitches are made out of. You see that? Better. Okay. There's this. Ain't shit to it. I want y'all's goddamn homes built out of fucking cardboard. 200 G's. 200 G's.
$200,000 for walls that look like a science fair project. I genuinely cannot believe this is legal. This is the house they're handing you a 30-year loan for. Not a shed, not a storage unit. A home where your family sleeps, and they threw it up in a weekend like it was a pop-up tent.
The crazy thing is, this is happening all over America. Builders are rushing, cutting corners, putting up new construction using substandard materials. Buy an older home, preferably before 1980.
I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but if you're buying a new construction home, you need to know these things. If you don't know me, I'm Theone the lender. I've been a lender for 9 years now. Let's get into it. I had like 7 buyer consults this week of people who were under contract with a new construction home. And usually these new construction builders have their own in-house lenders. And in order for you to get the $10,000 or whatever it is of credit, you have to use these in-house lenders. But the problem is these in-house lenders are usually shitty lenders. And I mean, that's because they don't really need to be good lenders because they just know that they're going to get business from the builder who's building the community. So yes, they'll give you the $10,000, but 1, usually it's caked into the price that you pay for the home, and 2, the service lacks big time because they're really not looking for repeat business, so they don't care about the service and your experience buying that house, whether it's your first time buying or your second time buying.
9 years as a lender, and she's telling you straight up the in-house guy doesn't care if you understand what you're signing. They got the next buyer lined up already. That $10,000 credit, they're dangling. Already baked into the price they set. You're not getting a deal. You're getting a magic trick.
So when you are going to buy a new construction home, you need to know a couple of things. 1 is that if you're going to accept the $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 of closing cost assistance or the awesome interest rate or whatever it is, then you need to know that usually that lender is not going to be available to answer your questions, and they might not do a good job and will just give you a runaround for a lot of things that you do ask. And unfortunately, they don't really care about reviews so much because if you're not happy and you want to get out of that house, well then great, they keep your deposit and then someone else is going to want that house because that's just low supply, high demand right now. The other thing to note is that new construction homes usually take longer to appreciate because they're new construction and the builder sets the price of them. So unless you are planning to live in that house for at least 5 to 8 years, you're not going to really see a return on your investment unless you stay that long. So I suggest that if you're a first-time home buyer just trying to get into real estate, new construction might not be the best route to go because you might not see that return on investment from the appreciation of the home. If you try to sell within 2 or 3 years, you maybe will get back what you paid for it up front. Now, I'm not saying that this is every single new construction home and their lenders. I know people that have had a great experience, but I'm going to say that like 80% of people I talk to, including people I personally know who are buying a new construction home, have a terrible experience with the lender. And I just don't think people are prepped enough when they go into buying these homes, because they think it's amazing that they're getting this new build home and they sacrifice the service and they just don't know up front. But that's it. Just wanted to make everybody aware, because I've had so many conversations recently about the service and the lack of communication from these lenders. So again, it's not everybody, but I figured I'd share, and maybe this would help one person.
We find ourselves today, inner city Calgary. Actually not too far from the Stampede grounds. But custom home. Have a look at some of these details that were done. Let me know what you think in the comments. For one, we got some quality hardy installed. Yeah, that looks good. Just paint over the crack, that'll fill it. Now we've got this window flashed with NDEMs as required. But where's all the flashing on these windows? Oh, and to top this off too. That's interior trim. That's door casing on the exterior of the home. Perfect. That'll definitely stand up to the elements. Damn it. No, I don't eat ice cream today. If I was going to patch in a 1 foot piece of fascia, that's where I'd do it. Right where it's most visible. Yeah. Nice work.
Okay guys, don't mind how I look, yeah? So, the last couple of weeks I've noticed a bit of water in my bathroom every time I flush the toilet, yeah? But I was just like, okay, I don't know what the hell this is, yeah? I moved into this new build 3 weeks ago. So I decided, okay, cool, I need to report it to whoever built this building, because this is just madness. Got the workmen out now to find out that the back of my toilet had not been connected. So now I've got 3 weeks worth of shit and piss stored at the back of my toilet. So now they're gonna have to do a chemical pump all that out, do a chemical clean to be able to fix it. Like, when they say do not get a new build, they mean do not get a new fucking build. Listen to me, don't get a new build. Don't get a fucking new build.
3 weeks in, brand new home, and there's been raw sewage pooling behind the toilet the whole time because nobody bothered to connect the pipe. This past inspection got a certificate of occupancy, and they only found out because they noticed water on the floor. Imagine if they hadn't.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but these are 4 types of homes that you should never waste your money on. Number 1, new construction homes. You see them everywhere. I'm talking about your D.R. Hortons, Lennar Homes, Beazer Homes, Ryan Homes, etc. Guys, these builders are throwing out these cardboard, cookie cutter homes in a weekend with the cheapest materials and the cheapest labor that they can find. You got paper thin drywall that you can literally hear your neighbor's sneeze, and don't even get me started on plumbing. I swear that I think plumbing issues are the number 1 issues with new construction homes. I'll probably stay away from 99.9% of all new construction homes. I don't even care if they're giving away a 0% interest rate for 100 years.
Plumbing issues are the number 1 problem in new construction. And this man said he doesn't care if they offer 0% interest for 100 years. Honestly, I respect that energy, because most of us are out here getting hypnotized by the rate buy down and forgetting to ask who actually put the pipes in.
Number 2, the condominium with a $700 a month HOA due or deferred maintenance. Listen, I don't care if they're giving this thing away, but if the HOA is higher than my car payment, I'm out. I've got clients right now paying over $700 a month in HOA dues, and they're still getting tacked on with special assessments. Condos with high HOA fees are gonna eat up your equity and your resale value. Number 3, a house with only 1 bathroom. Listen, unless you live in the Northeast or parts of the Midwest where houses with 3 and 4 bedrooms and 1 bathroom are really common, do yourself a favor and stay away from any home that has only 1 bathroom. These properties are really tough to resell. Number 4, cheap flips or just rental homes that look good on Zillow. Yeah, the listing looks pretty good in photos, but then you go see it in person and the hardwoods are literally the cheapest vinyl that you can find at Lowe's. These super cheap flips, or literally lipstick on a pig homes, are pretty common in big cities, and they're really easy to spot. Like
Cardboard new builds, predatory HOAs, 1 bathroom money traps, and cheap flips dressed up for Zillow photos. 4 ways to set your savings on fire. And all four of them are absolutely everywhere right now. This isn't edge cases. This is the market.
You go on Zillow, you find a house, and you find that an investor bought it 5 months ago, and they are already back on the market for 3 times what they paid for. Guys, I'm a mortgage broker, and if you have any questions about the best way to buy a house or getting the best deal and making sure that you don't get ripped off, make sure you comment on this video or just send me a DM. These are the biggest mistakes I see people make all the time when buying a new construction home. The biggest one, skipping inspections. Listen, don't assume that buying a new home means it's gonna be perfect. People have issues with new construction all the time. You need a pre-drywall inspection and a final inspection. In the pre-drywall is when you're gonna catch hidden issues like electrical, plumbing, framing. All of this stuff is really expensive. And I'm sorry, but if you don't have $600 to $700 for inspections, then look, you have no business buying a new construction home. Number 2, walking into the sales center without a realtor. Guys, let me make something very clear. The builder's agent does not work for you. They don't care about you. They only care about the builder. And no, you don't save any money by going into this thing alone. Builders love when you go under contract with no agent because they get to keep that 3 to 4% commission that they would have paid your agent, and that doesn't get really passed on to you, and you get no protection. Number 3, overpaying for upgrade. Look, don't get sucked in by little upgrades that don't do absolutely anything to the value of your home. Instead, I want you to focus on upgrades that are gonna add long-term value. So think hardwood flooring, custom closets, lot premiums, decks. All of these things actually stick to the value of your home. Number 4, believing the low monthly payment. Look, mortgage lenders that work for the builder love showing you new construction monthly payments because they're typically gonna be very low, at least at the beginning. But then here's what happens. At closing, your property taxes are super low because the county hasn't reassessed yet. They only assess the value of the land. But then once the county has record of the purchase, your property taxes can jump 5 to 6 times more than when you closed. And the other reason is because you chose to get a low intro APR for the first 1 or 2 years. This is what they call a 2-1 buy down, and builders love sucking people in with these programs because you get an unrealistic monthly payment and an unrealistic interest rate for 1 or 2 years. But then once those 2 years are up, and they go pretty fast, then your monthly payment goes way up. And finally, only using the builder's lender. Look, right now, you're gonna get a ton of builders offering incentives because the market is low. And it's gonna seem like you're being forced to use one of their in-house mortgage lenders. And look, they're gonna throw in closing costs and incentives, but what you don't see is that they're gonna be jacking up the fees somewhere else. Like I've seen builders give out $25,000 in seller concessions only for the in-house mortgage company to charge you 2 points in origination and 3 points in rate buy downs. Like, that doesn't really help you with anything. Always compare with a credit union or a mortgage broker like myself, or even your favorite bank. Look, I've seen a lot of times where the builder's lender doesn't really give you a better deal, even though they're giving you a ton of incentives.
The builder gives you $25,000 in concessions, and their own lender quietly charges you 2 points in fees plus 3 points in rate buy downs. You actually end up paying more, and they're smiling the whole time, handing you a gift basket. This is the game, and most people have no idea they're even playing it.
Guys, if you're buying a new construction home and there's something that's not clocking to you, or you're not really understanding what's going on, or you just want to know that you're getting a good deal, then just drop me a comment or send me a DM, and I'm going to make sure that you guys don't end up getting burnt by a builder.
So new build or resale? What actually wins in today's Lubbock market? A lot of people are wondering. So if you're buying in Lubbock, here's the quick breakdown. New builds typically equal modern layouts, energy efficiency, and that never lived in feel. It's great if you want move-in ready and low maintenance. But the downside is that if they haven't already built what you want, typically you're looking at 8 months to a year before you have your home. Resale homes, on the other hand, tend to have established yards, neighborhoods, mature trees, and sometimes even more value per square foot. I don't know how many times I've walked in a new build with a client only to find out that the bedrooms are so small. You also aren't having to wait for it to be built or to have neighbors. So which one is best? If you want turnkey and new, I would say go with a new build. But if you want character and potential location perks, resale might be your best match. So either way, I can help you choose the right fit for your lifestyle and your budget.
At least somebody said it straight. New build means noise, dust, no backyard, rate uncertainty for 12 months, and property taxes that hit harder than your neighbors on the resale street. The never lived in feeling costs you in ways they don't put in the brochure.
Here we are in Stouffville doing a 30-day inspection. So this house is only a couple weeks old, and we've got brick here that's cracking. Now they've actually forgotten or missed to put a steel lintel in here underneath the window. There's supposed to be a steel support from this side to this side, and that holds up the brick. Now because there's no structural lintel there, the brick's falling down. You got this crack here, and they're just using the window to bear the brick. It's no good, and they're gonna have to repair. You can see this window above, it's got that piece of steel, and that's what we're missing here.
And now for the 4 reasons that new construction is not ideal. Number 1, unless you're buying in the very final phase of a new community, you're going to be living in a construction zone for a while. That means dust, that means noise. Reason number 2, new construction builders, they typically install front landscape, but not rear landscape. So you need to budget for that. Reason number 3, you can typically lock your interest rate anywhere from 30 to 45 days prior to close of escrow, but new builds take anywhere from 6 to 12 months. That means you're going to have to float your interest rate and not lock it until you get closer to the completion of that project. That can be stressful. Last reason, new construction actually has higher property tax rates than the resale counterparts. And that's because the last 20 plus years, we've been using bonds and Melrose tax in order to fund things like new parks and streets in those communities. Happy house hunting.
Higher property taxes, and you're floating your interest rate for up to a year because they haven't finished building yet. You could lock in at one rate and close into something completely different. That's not a home purchase. That's a gamble with a 30-year payment attached to it.
Okay, if you live in a new build house, please stay. Or if you know anything about new build houses, please stay. Let me show you. Well, just for a little bit of context, we've lived in this house for 3 years, almost 3 years now. It was a brand new build when we moved in. So we are the first owners of this house. It was a pretty penny, okay? It was a pretty penny. Okay, can someone explain to me why there are cracks happening in our home? Look at all that. Okay, this is at the top of our stairwell. You can see that big long crack right there. Okay, we have screws like protruding out of our walls. They're starting to come out. This was not picked, it's just the drywall is just falling off. Here is another example of a crack, I guess, forming at the top of our stairs. This is in my daughter's room. We have screws coming out from, this is her ceiling. We have windows. This is my daughter's room again. Window like cracks in here. Looks like it's like coming basically undone. Okay, that is just a fraction of everything that's going on around our house. Can somebody please explain this to me? We are pretty much SOL because we're out of our 1-year warranty and they're not going to do anything about it. Like, is this normal for new built homes? Like, am I crazy for being pissed? Am I overreacting for being pissed? Because, like I said, this house was not cheap. This was a fairly expensive home that my fiance worked very hard to put us into, and we are now almost on year 3 of living here, and this is what it looks like.
Out of warranty after 1 year, screws through the walls, cracks across the ceiling, windows coming apart, and the builder is legally done with you. This family did everything right, and 3 years later, they're living in a house that's already falling apart with zero recourse. That is the system working exactly as designed.
So please share this with somebody that you know. Comment to somebody that you think might know what's going on with our house. Like, what can we do?
Look, we were sold a deal, work hard, buy a house, build something real. And a lot of us are still trying to hold on to that. But what you just watched is what's actually waiting on the other side of that dream right now. Get the inspection, bring your own agent, compare that lender, and maybe take a second look at the older house down the street, because whoever built that had to live with what they made. Drop a comment if you've been through this, like if it hit home, and subscribe, because this market isn't done surprising.